Welcome back to Notorious Figures in History. Arnold Rothstein did not look dangerous. There was no fury in his eyes, no tension in his shoulders, no sense that he was ever in a hurry. He dressed like a Wall Street broker, spoke like a college professor, and listened far more than he talked. Yet nearly every major figure of the American Mafia would later trace their worldview back to him. Before there were crime families, before there were commissions, before there were rules, there was Arnold. They called him the Brain, not because he was clever, but because he understood something most men never do. That power works best when no one realizes who holds it. Arnold Rothstein was born in New York City in 1882 into a household built on strict morality. His father was a respected businessman, deeply religious, deeply traditional, and completely baffled by his son. Arnold hated school, hated authority, and despised the idea that effort guaranteed reward. Very early, he noticed something else, that men who followed the rules worked harder than men who wrote them. By his teens, Rothstein had already gravitated toward gambling, not for the thrill, but for the patterns. Horse racing, cards, dice. He didn't chase wins, he studied behavior. Who panicked? Who overbet? Who folded too early? By his early 20s, Arnold Rothstein had quietly become one of the most important financiers in New York's gambling world. He rarely ran games himself, he funded them. If a poker room opened, Rothstein backed it. If a bookmaker needed capital, Rothstein supplied it. If a fixer needed protection, Rothstein arranged it. And every dollar flowed back upward. Arnold Rothstein was doing something radical for his time. He separated crime from labor. Other gangsters broke legs. Rothstein issued credit. Other gangsters threatened. Rothstein waited. His real breakthrough came during Prohibition. Alcohol was illegal. Demand exploded. Violence followed. But Rothstein didn't run booze. He financed the men who did. He provided startup money, supply chains, and connections. And when disputes arose, he didn't pull guns. He pulled contracts. This approach fascinated a new generation of criminals. Young men like Lucky Luciano watched closely. Luciano noticed something important. Rothstein never shouted, never bragged, never chased respect. He assumed it. Rothstein taught Luciano and Meyer Lansky that crime could be organized, scaled, and stabilized. That emotion was a liability, that the real gangster. Looked boring. Then came 1919, the World Series. Baseball was sacred in America. It was trust itself, and that made it vulnerable. 8 Chicago White Sox players were quietly approached with an offer. Throw the games, lose on purpose, get paid. Arnold Rothstein allegedly financed the operation. Not directly and never directly. Money moved through intermediaries, through layers, through silence. When the White Sox lost, Rothstein placed massive bets and won. The scandal shook the country. Careers were destroyed. Baseball was permanently changed. And Arnold Rothstein, he walked away untouched. No charges, no trial, no confession. When asked about it, he reportedly said nothing. Because Rothstein understood something terrifying. Silence is safer than denial. After the Black Sox Scandal, Rothstein's influence exploded. He became the unofficial banker of the Underworld. If you needed money, you went to him. If you crossed him, you were finished, quietly. Rothstein discouraged unnecessary killing, not out of mercy, out of math. Violence drew attention. Attention brought law enforcement. Law enforcement disrupted cash flow. Rothstein preferred stability. He taught his protege that fear should be subtle, that debt was more effective than threats, that loyalty could be purchased, but discipline had to be learned. Lucky Luciano absorbed everything. So did Meyer Lansky. Together, they would later build the modern American Mafia, based not on bloodlines, but on efficiency. Arnold Rothstein was the prototype, but even geniuses have blind spots. Rothstein believed logic ruled everything, including people. In the late 1920s, he became obsessed with poker, high-stakes games, long nights, elite players. Not because he needed money, but because he wanted to win. One night, Rothstein lost over $300,000, an enormous sum, and for the first time in his life, he refused to pay. He claimed the game was fixed. In the underworld, refusing to pay a gambling debt was the ultimate insult. Rothstein believed his reputation would protect him, that his system would hold. It didn't. On November 4th, 1928, Arnold Rothstein was shot in the stomach, inside the Park Central Hotel in Manhattan. He collapsed quietly. No chaos, no spectacle, just blood on expensive carpet. He survived for 2 days. Police questioned him repeatedly. They asked who shot him, who ordered it, who betrayed him. Arnold Rothstein said nothing, not out of loyalty, out of principle, because to name names would expose the system he built. Rothstein died at 46 years old. No throne, no empire in his name, but his influence lived everywhere. Lucky Luciano would soon reorganize the mafia into families and commissions. Meyer Lansky would perfect financial crime. The mob would become quiet, corporate, enduring. All because one man understood that the future of crime was not muscle, it was management. Arnold Rothstein never wanted fame. He wanted control. And even in death, he kept it. Subscribe for more underworld tales from history.